The Indian government has argued against practices such as triple talaq, polygamy and halala in the Supreme Court of India. The government has told the Supreme Court that the right to religion in the Constitution can be regulated by the state to ensure gender equality in the Muslim religion. It has thus argued the court to declare practices such as triple talaq, nikah halala and polygamy inconsistent with fundamental rights. The government also said that there has been no reform in the Muslim community for the past 6.5 decades. In an affidavit, the government pointed out that the court has to decide whether Muslim women can be relegated to a status more significantly vulnerable than their counterparts in other religions. The centre also added that the other countries with large Muslim populations have taken significant reforms to address gender equality.
सुन्नी समुदाय में ये प्रॉब्लम है, हमारे यहाँ नहीं है। मुस्लिम पर्सनल बोर्ड इसकी तरफ मुतवज्जे है, ध्यान रख रहा। कलकत्ते में जो हुआ था उसमें उन्होंने, हम थे वहाँ मौजूद थे, उसमें लोगों ने तय किया कि हम खुद इस बुराई को समाज से मिटा देंगे। हमारी निवेदन सरकार से कि वो इंटरफेयर न करे, हम खुद साल 1.5 साल में इसको ख़त्म कर देंगे।
My colleague and WION's correspondent Raghavendra Rao joins us live for more on that story. Raghavendra, tough words there from the centre arguing in favour of gender equality. What is the reaction of the Muslim Law Board been? Any other reactions you've been able to pick up on that story?
Well, indeed, the centre has reiterated its stated position earlier, wherein it had argued that practices like the triple talaq and nikah halala should be done away with, as well as polygamy. Now, you know, the fact that the centre, even the Prime Minister, has been talking about how these practices impinge on the fundamental rights of women, Muslim women in particular, is essentially the driving force behind, you know, this affidavit which the centre has now filed with the Supreme Court. These are things about which the Narendra Modi government has been, you know, asserting its stance over the past, you know, few months or so. And the All India Muslim Personal Law Board too has come out saying that it would you know, do away with the practice of triple talaq in a year and a half's time. Now, the fact that the matter is already being taken by a constitution bench of the Apex Court, and the Supreme Court has already set a May 11 date for this case to be heard during its summer vacation, that is also a first as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. But the fact that the Supreme Court's constitution bench will be hearing this contentious issue in a few weeks from now is what is going to determine you know, the future course this entire issue takes in days and weeks to come. Aisha.
Right. Raghavendra, also is the nervousness in the Muslim community on account of fear that any movement on the triple talaq or nikah halala may just be the first steps towards a uniform civil code, which the community is not very certain of how it will impact the Muslims living in India?
Well, that may be a concern among some section of the Muslim population, but that said, you know, the fact that triple talaq is something, you know, a practice which has impacted Muslim women over the decades. It is something where you know, nobody other than a few clerics and a few hardliners, no political party has even, you know, tried and defend a malpractice, so to say, like the triple talaq. The fact that it snatches away a very basic fundamental right from you know, a person, making the Muslim women and women from that community very, very vulnerable. Nobody has been arguing for continuing triple talaq. The only argument in favor of triple talaq has been that it is something which has been determined by a religion, and it is a matter of religion, and it should be left to the religion to deal with that matter. Now, the centre's argument that such practices, even if they are part of religious laws, you know, they need to be seen in light of whether they impinge on the fundamental rights as enshrined in the Constitution. So that is the basic argument, that is the basic philosophy which is driving the centre's argument, and the centre is very clear that even if a religious law is impinging upon the fundamental rights, there is a need to ensure that that does not happen, and that is not allowed to happen. Aisha.
Raghavendra Rao, thanks very much for joining us with those details. Right, our correspondent Jessica Taneja in fact spoke with the senior advocate Colin Gonzalez on this entire issue. Here's their conversation.
This government is doing this not really because it has any particular concern for women's rights or concern for Muslim women at all, but rather it's a political ideological stand taken by the government of India, which fortunately works in favor of women, including Muslim women.
We do agree the government has a political will now, because even last year they filed a counter affidavit very quickly to respond to the issue of triple talaq, in fact.
Well, this is a different kind of political will. I would have preferred a political will where there was also, apart from the legal issue, also a genuine concern for the plight of women in India. But this is not that. This is purely a political point to be made by the government. But notwithstanding that, I think the time has come. The Constitution bench will decide that triple talaq is illegal. I think it's only a matter of formality now.